system. Tucker doesn't seem to get this. Their goal is nihilistic. Okay, why do I think that Trump is going nowhere in November? Why do I believe that? Well, first of all, it's beginning to look to me like there's a good chance that his present strategy of allowing the riots and looting to continue and worsen in Seattle and Portland, 59 officers injured in one weekend in Seattle, 500 police vehicles destroyed. Why is Trump allowing this? Because I think his strategy now is to let this worsen, let this situation worsen, and instill sort of a panic in the electorate, and so that people, the polls will change now. According to his plan, he's going to start surging. He will ultimately surge in the polls. Tech thinks that the polls are totally invalid because he says, who would be a pollster in this climate, with the COVID and with the arrest, shootings? Who would do this except a young Marxist? Okay? Who is not going to walk up to me, in my white sideburns and my air of whiteness and affluence, education. He's not going to walk up to me and ask me who I'm going to vote for. He pretty much knows by looking at somebody 100 feet away who they're going to vote for. And that's his area of expertise, isn't it? I mean, he's doing that all day long, every day. In time, he knows who's going to vote for who, just by looking at them. People look at me, they know I'm a Republican. Of course I'm a Republican. The Dems are losers. It's written all over them. I'm generalizing now. I'm not talking about Bill Gates. I'm talking about 99%. 99% of the Dems are losers. And the big thing that Tucker missed on this last talk about the Dems is that, yes, they have a nihilist agenda. He wasn't clear about that, exactly how to describe each other, but it can only be described as nihilist. Tear down the present system, replace it with they don't know what, but it's going to be blacker and more distributed, redistributed, collectivist. That's half of it. The other half is my buddy Guman. As soon as I hit Manhattan 9 years ago. 9 years. Okay, as soon as I hit Manhattan, I started hanging out with the people because I was born to be H.L. Dickens. I'm a born novelist. I've always gravitated towards the people, getting to know them, seeking out the interesting characters. And I've just done this instinctively. And so I met Guman, Dr. Gu. Nobody knows him by Dr. Gu but me. And Dr. Gu is incensed by the economic unfairness of our system. And like all Dems, his agenda can be summed up in 3 words: I want more. And he's very resentful of people that are getting asking more than he is. He resents them. They don't deserve it. All right, so that's the other half of this thing. I abominate this little moron, this little fucking idiot, what's his name, Noam Chomsky. His theme is that the poor are the victims of the rich. The rich are responsible for the poor. And he says this has always been the case in the United States. And the Constitution was drafted. He's out of his mind. This used to be the land of opportunity, and it still is, but that truth is a little subtler now. It used to be that if you wanted to get rich, and you did a lot of farming, you worked from dawn to dusk. You could buy all the farmland you want for $2 an acre. If you didn't have the $2 an acre, you moved out west and squatted. You take all the land you could farm. If you worked from dawn to dusk and your kids worked, in 1 or 2 generations you'd be rich. Castro's father came from Galicia, Spain. It must have been around 1900 or so. Certainly early 20th century. And he worked as a laborer in Cuba until he saved enough money to buy a truck. Then with the truck, he saved enough money to buy land, and he died a wealthy landlord. Yeah. So, could anybody have done what he did? I don't know that, but I suspect that many people, maybe 10, 20% of the people in his situation could have ended up dying as a wealthy landlord in Cuba at that time. Well, this was true in the United States, and it engendered a philosophy called rugged individualist, and I adopted this philosophy when I was a high school kid. I said, yes, this is it. Every American needs to be a rugged individualist. Take responsibility for yourself, work, save. Okay? Now we are populated by Nincompoopas Americanus. And Nincompoopas Americanus, the common American, the lower 50-60% of our population, they think that you live to consume. And you consume as much as you can until you blow out all your credit cards. Then you go back up and you start all over again. I have a relative who told me that as soon as he started coming out of bankruptcy, he got new credit cards in the mail. Yeah, he knew he was an addict, like most Americans. So you gotta listen to my 50-odd YouTubes. I'm the first to tell the truth about America. That Americans have one big problem, and that is self-victimization. Okay? All right. Dr. Gu doesn't want to hear any of this. All Dr. Gu knows is that I call his paintings Gu paintings. So I call him Dr. Gu. We're great friends. And Dr. Gu is convinced that he is I don't know about him, but the poor are the victims, the product of the rich. Okay, that's what Noam Chomsky's theme is. Okay? And in fact, the rich subsidize the poor, with this welfare state. $22 trillion we spent trying to make everyone equal in this country. Okay? We knew that we weren't going to be completely successful. Well, guess what? The 22 trillion was counterproductive. It made people less equal. And the people that was designed to help were hurt by it. I mean, dramatically hurt. This is the fatherless family, unmarried family, and so on. So I'm not going to beat that horse anymore. Everybody knows about that. Okay, so why do I think Trump's not going anywhere in November? I hope that his strategy is successful. I hope that he begins to surge in the polls now, and that he ultimately wins the election. But, what if he doesn't surge in the polls? What if it becomes clear? What if he comes to the conclusion that he's going to lose? He's confident, he's sure, 100% sure he's going to lose. What's he going to do now? Is he going to turn this country over to the Democratic Party, Nadler, and AOC, and Schiff, when he knows he doesn't have to? Okay? Well, why is that? That's because he knows his people. He knows me. He knows all the millions of me's out there, and millions of us. He knows us. And he knows we have his back. And that we will do everything necessary to prevent the takeover of our country by the Nadlers and Schiffs, Pelosi's, Schumer's. See, we've reached the point where two factions in the country, they don't just hate each other, they want to kill each other. If they have to. They don't want to kill each other, but I mean, they will if they have to. And that's just my belief. Just, laugh at me. Call me a crazy old man, See, the way Trump is justifying, he's already decided, in my opinion, he's not going anywhere in November. All right, how does he justify this? Same way I do. In 74 years, I never saw a political party become seditious because they lost the election. And I would call this 4 years pure sedition. It goes beyond freedom of exercise of freedom of speech, in my opinion. I mean, when you support, see, their faction is not only responsible for the Russia collusion myth and the Mueller report, in the individuals that were responsible for that. See, the networks, the fake news networks supported this. See? They supported sedition, all right? In a sense, they almost ruined our lives for these 4 years. It's more than casting a pall. I mean, they polluted our lives. And I want paybacks. And Trump wants paybacks. Trump people, we want paybacks. Okay? To think we're going. See, we also think that if the poll numbers are reflective of reality, if they're meaningful, the reason they're meaningful, the reason Trump is 10 points behind in the polls is this seditious activity. I mean, we want to see Comey, his crew, and the FBI, Obama, Hillary. We want to see them all in prison. Okay? We're going to give a pardon to Bill because Bill gave us eight pretty good years. We're not going to put Bill in prison. I'm just talking. I mean, nobody's going to put anybody in prison. But I'm telling you what our sentiments are. And why we will support Trump if he decides that his first term and his re-election have been compromised by sedition on the part of the Dems. I believe this myself, and I think we all believe it. 99% of us are going to feel the way I feel. So, see, Trump knows that. He knows that he has the love and the support of his people. And they would rather change our form of government than accept the opposition, the Dems. I mean, that's literally true. If you said to one, hey, would you rather have a Trump as a plenipotentiary that having total control of the country? Would you rather have that, or would you rather have confiscation of your wealth and the Dem agenda to be implemented? He wouldn't hesitate for a second. Why? Because he trusts Donald Trump. He knows that Donald Trump is not a bad guy. He's not going to impinge anybody's civil rights. And also, he knows that Donald Trump is going to try to express in his government, in the country, the will of the people, the will of the majority. He's going to try to do that. I really believe what I'm saying. I mean, I could be completely wrong. I could be fanatic. You see, we Trump people, we have a lifelong grievance. Because it's not just what the Dems did to us in the last almost 4 years. It's what the Dems did to us since, I guess, probably before the Second World War. They took our country away, ultimately, from us. And look, let me tell you about being 6 years old in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm sorry, Lakewood, Ohio. I would walk down to the corner, get on the streetcar. We had a streetcar, you know, the noises and the crackling noise, the wires, right? And I would get on the streetcar by myself, free. And I would go to downtown Cleveland, from the little suburb of Lakewood, downtown Cleveland, straight shot, to where the streetcar line ended at Cleveland Tower. I would get out, go into the Cleveland Tower, get in the elevator, go to the top, go out of the roof, and look over and survey my domain, my big city. It was there for my enjoyment. Okay? And people would see me walking the streets. No one thought anything was strange about that. Little boy, what are you doing here? All alone? No. Any place in the United States, this is 1949, it was home, it was your living room. Okay? Now look at this fierce, evil, dangerous place. I mean, I've got citizens here. on my YouTube, on my iPhone, right? And I get an alert: woman assaulted and stabbed. I mean, it's a 2-minute, 3-minute walk. Okay. Number of people fighting. Police call. The assaults on women, that's the most common thing. It's really shocking, cowardly. See, so who gave us that? The Dems gave us that, 100%. The Dems are responsible, and if we could press a button and make every Dem in the world disappear, bang, we would do it, believe me. They don't want to do it to us. They want us to stay around and make more money, to take our money from us. That's how we feel. You know, I mean, in 1965, you know, the Dems made it very difficult for Europeans to emigrate here. I met a wealthy Swede who had an art gallery. He told me it was hell for him to get citizenship. He'd go down, though, to immigration, and it was all third world people. And I know I talked to a guy that worked there. He said, our policy is to bring, what we're focusing on now is the relatives of people who are already here, which are third world people. So they did this, the Dems did this to us. They changed, we used to be like in Switzerland. And they wanted to make us into Puerto Rico. And they're still working. Yeah, so they took our country away from us. They turned our country into a third world hellhole. And now we have a champion in Trump. So yes, we are going to support him. He knows we're going to support him. Don't plan on him leaving the White House in November. Don't make any plans on that. You know, and you can view what I've told you any way you want to, obviously, and maybe I'm just a crazy old man who's speaking for himself, and no, I don't think so. I think the great, much more than much, I think most, probably almost all Trump supporters would, listening to me, would, what did the Spring say? Second the emotion, okay? I say that all the time as a joke. I second the emotion. Yeah, well, I think my people, Trump supporters, would second the emotion. They feel the same way I do. They would never have the guts to say it. Now let's talk about this racism thing. Look, I don't like the beginning of Sun Also Rises. Okay, I am offended by Hemingway making fun of somebody because he's Jewish and he has a big nose. I don't think that's not Christian. A Christian doesn't do that. Okay? So I'm very sensitive. You know, I would never do anything, you know, to hateful, you know, to a minority person, okay, or a Jew, or anybody. I would never do that. I mean, I'm a Christian, and I take it seriously. My brother wants me to go to church on Sunday, and I said, "Randy, I don't need to go to church. I am Jesus Christ." Well, I mean, compared to almost all people, I am. I've made 50 YouTubes without, you know, any attempt to monetize them, you know, to try to educate people, give people a college education. What's the name of it? DarkStream at Echo 120. That's the name of it. Well, the one you're on now. All right, so I'm totally against ill-using, denigrating people because of their race or color. No, that's unchristian. But now, you see, that was what racism was. And I want to say this, you know, if any black attorney would ever come to me and say, God, I want to be associate in your law firm. And one day I want to be your partner. You give me a chance. And I thought the guy could win cases. I don't care what color it was. Are you kidding me? Of course I would take the job. Yeah, see, so that's racism. Hating people because of their race, denigrating them because of their race, fearing, and the old dictionary definition of racism was hating and or fearing members of another race because of their race. That's the old definition. The new definition is all about believing that that one race is inferior to another. Where the hell did that come from? That's a completely new concept. Let me tell you something, my fine-feathered friends. Everybody, Black, Asian, Hispanic, everybody appreciates that the white race, historically and today, is superior to all other races. In which I don't mean in the eyes of God. I mean in the sense that they are performing better. Let's use that word. They're performing better. They're creating more wealth. They're creating more science and medicine. They are more just and fair. For example, to the Chinese or the Africans in Africa. Okay. Of course, I mean, this is dramatic. I mean, don't tell me that my race is not superior to all other races. I mean, if you want to advocate for like the Chinese race, the Asian race, fine. Show me your Newton. Show me your Shakespeare. Show me your Goethe. Show me your Roman Empire, the Greek civilization, your Alexander the Great. Show me your counterpart. There isn't any counterpart. All right, so what does this mean? That I believe that my race is vastly superior to all other races. What does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Nothing. It doesn't mean I'm going to do anything differently. See? It doesn't mean I'm going to do anything. I mean anything at all. It's a matter of self-esteem. That's all it is. It's self-esteem. As a black man, you can believe that the black race is superior. I wrote a poem, or an artist, a friend of mine, a black friend. He told me that white chicks preferred black men because they had better genes. That's the point. Well, he's free to believe that, just as I'm free to believe that that my race is superior to all other races. It's a question of self-esteem. See, but to go around and say, "Oh no, all races are equal, all people are equal," and if you don't believe it, and nobody believes it. That's dishonest and it's stupid. This is just a fact of life. Okay? Well, how do you deal with it? Tear down the white race, I guess, is what Antifa want to do. They want to tear down the white race. They want to destroy what remains of white Christian America. They consider it racist. It's not racist. I mean, nobody loves the white race more than I do, but nobody has ever been nicer to black people and Hispanic people than I have. That's for sure. So it's not. It doesn't mean anything. You have high self-esteem, and you're just by telling people you can't do this, we're going to cancel you if you do this. If you talk this way, if you tell the truth, we're going to cancel you. That's going to foment hostility. I can't live in a country where I have self-esteem, where I love my race, and its accomplishments, its people. I can't do that. I have to hide that fact. Okay? All right? Tech was getting very nervous here. He was remonstrating with me. That's bullshit. That is pure bullshit. You know, let's do something different. Let's be honest, right? Let's be honest about everything. And if somebody's wrong, tell them they're wrong. Tell them why they're wrong. But let's try being honest for a change. Tucker can't be honest. He would be canceled. And I love this Jordan Peterson rule. Always tell the truth, but never lie. You try telling the truth in this country, and you see what happens. You see what happens to you. You better not tell the truth. Anyway, that's my response to Tucker this morning. So what's going to happen? Are we going to have a civil war? No. If Trump simply says, you know, I've got to postpone this, he'll do this very diplomatically. You know, with this, he'll say, I'm concerned about voter fraud, concerned about all these things. I cannot, in good conscience, let the election continue on November 3rd. And they have to postpone it temporarily. People will, you know, there'll be riots and so on, but there will not be a civil war at that point. And this is all hypothetical. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope he's just elected. But people will grow accustomed to his temporary suspension of the elections. And, you know, the left will go nuts and be riotous. And that will simply, that might simply give Trump more support, solidify his position, you know, as our supreme leader. Okay? I mean, I was named the Swami, you know, in 7th grade. You know, fortune teller. I've always been very prescient, very good predictor, and I think that, you know, things are fluid now, and all kinds of things can happen in the next between now and November 3rd. But I don't see anything really baleful. I mean, I don't see the Civil War happening as a result of the worst case scenario. Trump temporarily suspending the elections, you know, for like 2 more terms. You know. No, I don't see a Civil War. People have too much to lose. You know, before everybody goes out in the streets, and you know, people are going to be thinking about their jobs. You know, there are $1,200 they would like to get from Trump. I think a civil war. I think if the bottom line, if Trump suspended the election for the next 8 years, I don't think we'd have a civil war. And I've already said what would happen if we had a civil war. It would be an absolute massacre, genocide. Because the Trump faction has the military, the police, the guns. I'm telling you what you already know. So for that reason, I don't think that there will be a civil war, and I think everybody can rest easy. You may not like what's going to happen, but nobody. I don't think we're going to have widespread bloodshed. I don't think we're going to have. We might have less unrest than we have now. So let me hear what you think. See you soon. Oh, I promise you, I'm gonna react to Tucker